Just like that, we have a relatively sad video, but also positive because we are inching closer and closer to the NFL season. YouTube, what's going on? It's Zaya here from Zaya&TheSteelers, and we are back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Steelers' initial 53-man roster. We're going to be talking about some players that were cut, and then this team overall as a whole, because there was a lot of moves made today, right? There was a lot of head-scratching decisions in terms of the 53-man roster and who we decided to keep and who we decided to get rid of. And so with all that said, I'm just going to get right into it because we have this is a pretty sick graphic, honestly, made by the Steelers social media team. But we have the 53-man roster up here, so we're not going to go through the entire thing, but you can see we do have 4 quarterbacks, including Will Howard and Skylar Thompson. I'm not sure if we're going to put Will Howard on the IR and how that affects, the roster spots or whatever. But for now, we do have both of them, right? And then we look at the wide receivers, Calvin Austin, DK Metcalf, Scotty Miller, Ben Skowronek, and Roman Wilson. This one, I'm not going to lie, Ben Skowronek, maybe he's like that, maybe he's elite, I'm not sure. I know Scotty Miller, for example, got relatively close with Aaron Rodgers throughout the training camp and preseason process, and so I'm not really going to argue that one, Scotty Miller. And then Roman Wilson, he was absolutely chewing. Calvin Austin, we knew was going to make the team, and then DK Metcalf, we knew was going to make the team. Low-key, these three right here, Calvin, DK, and Roman, were like surefire, they're going to make the team. And then Scotty Miller, due to his relationship with Aaron Rodgers, plus his just overall ability, not too much on Scotty Miller. Like, he's a hooper, right? So we knew, like, those three, and then Scotty Miller was going to make the team. But Ben Skowronek being, like, that fifth receiver, I'm not really sure. Maybe there were some other people out there, like Rock Taylor or Keyshawn Williams, maybe we could have went that way, but that's, how the cookie crumbled. We look at the tight ends, Pat Freiermuth, Smith, Darnell Washington, they all made it. And then you guys got to lay off of Connor Hayward. I'm not going to lie. Connor Hayward has encountered a ton of slander, simply because he's Cam Hayward's brother, right? And maybe he's not fantastic or whatever. Maybe he's not like the greatest football player ever. But y'all gotta lay off of Connor Hayward. Like, he is not that bad, right? So that's my take on that. On the offensive line is the offensive line. But really, where things start to get interesting, where the talking points and decision making is gonna be at, is the defensive backs to me, because you can see we do keep Brandon Echols. We also we got rid of somebody else too. Sebastian Castro was somebody we cut, but we got rid of Beanie Bishop and we kept Brandon Echols. To me, I think we could have kept both. Now, obviously, they were both kind of at like that nickel cornerback spot. They were, duking it out, battling it out. And Brandon Echols, we saw he was hooping, right? Like, Brandon Echols was hooping in the preseason process. But Beanie Bishop last season, we saw him get these interceptions against Aaron Rodgers. We saw him have splash plays or whatever. And so the fact that we got rid of Brandon Echols the fact that we got rid of Beanie Bishop to me was definitely a head scratcher. Like, I did not see that coming, but it is what it is. Brandon Echols, you are the next man up. But also, right, and I don't know if anyone's going to talk about this. Maybe it's just me. Ladies and gentlemen, we got rid of James fucking Pierre. James Prison Pierre. And I know what you're thinking out there. Yay! I know that's what you guys are thinking. Don't think that. I know what you guys are thinking. Like, hey, James Pierre, he wasn't all that good, blah, 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 blah. I like James Pierre. I really did. And I think I got a tweet up here. Here's a fun fact. Since 2020, no one has appeared in more games for the Steelers than James Pierre. James Pierre played in 81 games for us, and he was cut today. I love James Pierre. You live and die with James Pierre football. Granted, you mostly died. Like 90% of the time, you died with James Pierre football, for sure. However, I talk about this all the time. I really, I'm getting older. All of the Steelers I watched as a youngin', like, they're all gone. I find myself getting attached to, players who play on the team for a while. And as this tweet talked about, James Pierre was a consistent, vital, crucial member to the Pittsburgh Steelers in my viewing experience. And so the fact that we got rid of James Pierre, it really does. It hurts me. It hurts my soul. It hurts my heart. Not only because he was a dog, but also on special teams. Like, the guy was hooping. I went to a game live in Cleveland, or not in Cleveland, I'm sorry. We faced the Browns, but it was in Pittsburgh. But the game I went to, James Pierre, like, downed a punt or some shit, and, like, I was just in the crowd yelling, like, let's go, James Pierre, because I know how you guys feel about him. I know you guys think he stinks, right? And maybe he does stink. Maybe this was a long time coming. However, T's and P's for James Pierre, man. Like, I hope he winds up on another team. I hope he has, a ton of success in the rest of his career, wherever it is, if he's still playing NFL football. But this one, it really hurt me because this guy, he survived a lot of cut days, low key. Because, James Pierre, he's not very good. He survived a lot of cut days. He survived a lot of, situations where maybe we should have got rid of him. And then now, you see Chris Boswell, he made the team. We ended up getting rid of Pittman, Ben Sauls. I hope he finds his way onto another team. And before I really, get into the next topic here, I'm going to talk, DeMarvin Leal got cut. We're going to talk about this real quick. DeMarvin Leal gets cut, and Mark Robinson also gets cut. We're looking at the final 5 Kevin Colbert draft classes right now, right? And the only players we still have on the team are Mason Rudolph, Alex Highsmith, Pat Fryermuth, Isaiah Loudermilk, Calvin Austin III, and Connor Hayward. But we're looking at some of these draft picks, and it's like, damn. Where did we go wrong, man? Like Terrell Edmonds gone, James Washington, Chakuma Okorafor, Mike Allen, Jalen Samuels, Joshua Frazier, I believe, Devin Bush, Deontay, he's gone, Justin Lane, Benny Snell, Zach Gentry, Isaiah Buggs. We can just keep going through it. We have had a ton of misses in recent drafts, and a part of this is a reason why, we're not out here competing for Super Bowls. You can only put so much on Mike Tomlin and how he never has the team ready and blah, 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 blah. Fam, we have 6 players since 2018, in these draft classes. We have 6 of these guys left. Normally, you go back to the Pittsburgh Steelers and how we used to draft. We used to be able to keep all these guys. We used to be very elite at the draft process. And now it's pitiful, low key. But Omar Khan, he has been kind of hooping. He has been kind of, doing his thing. And so we're hoping to change this graphic up, going forward. But since 2018 to 2022, we pretty much have none of these players left. And the only great one, according to this graphic, is Alex Highsmith. Above average, Pat Fryermuth, he's cool. And then everybody else is just average. And then after that, everyone else is gone. To me, this is really pitiful, and it does kind of sum up, why we find ourselves in this position that we are now, just hoping and praying, trying to get one single playoff win, and we can't even keep one single player on the team, right? And so, there is that, and then what I wanted to talk about, because I don't have it up specifically, is our wide receiver room, right? Because it's the same story every single time, a wide receiver is available, and we're gonna go after him, and the new wide receiver that's available is Jacoby Myers, right, from Vegas. And, Kenny Pickett, he just went to Vegas, so shout out. But yeah, Jacoby Myers, are we going to add him to the team? If so, who are we going to get rid of to add him? Truthfully, I don't know. And, will he, move the needle for us? Maybe. I've also seen Romeo Dubes from the Green Bay Packers. There's, I think, Trey Palmer from the Bucks. Literally any wide receiver that could be as good as Calvin Austin or Scotty Miller. Any wide receiver that's not on the Steelers currently, we're out here begging for them. Are we going to make that trade? Are we going to make the move? Maybe. Is Jacoby Myers, is he an improvement? For sure, maybe. But, I don't know. I don't really think it's that desperate of a need that, we have to be begging for Jacoby Myers and we have to be begging for Trey Palmer. Would it make us better? For sure. But I'm ready to roll in the season with Calvin Austin and Scotty Miller and Roman Wilson. Maybe I'm stupid, but, hey, we have been begging and pleading for this for years. And it's Omar Khan, he's not doing it. You know what I'm saying? He is not trying to go out and get these wide receivers. As of now, maybe he'll, drop a bombshell tomorrow and this video will be old news. But as of now, I am ready to just go into the season with these wide receivers, and I am confident about these wide receivers. The only wide receiver I low-key really want to bring back, ladies and gentlemen, the Browns are releasing veteran wide receiver Diontae Johnson. And I know, boo, dislike, boo, he sucks, boo, he quit on us, boo, we hate Diontae, boo, 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 boo. I gotta take off my headset. I'm taking off my headset so I can't hear you guys. Maybe we should go out and get Diontae Johnson. I know, he drops it, he runs backwards, he doesn't block, he does blah, blah, blah. We're out here begging for wide receivers. Maybe we go give Diontae Johnson a look. But however, that is just me. I know you guys are pretty out on Diontae Johnson as a whole, so I'm not going to super duper, plead for the guy. But I do think he's better than what people, believe. However, I'm basing it on 3 years ago Diontae Johnson at this point. The fact that he got cut, maybe he's not really like that. Diontae Johnson, I'm sorry, but maybe we'll pick you up. You know what I'm saying? Because we're out here running Ben Skowronek, for God's sakes. Maybe we can run Diontae Johnson, but that's just me. But overall, I am excited about this team. As we're getting closer to football season, I am getting more and more excited. I walked out of work today and the weather felt like kickoff. You know what I'm saying? The weather felt like fall weather. It's finally not blazing hot. And, you know, the NFL, it's coming soon. It's happening soon. And are we going to win the Super Bowl? I'm not sure. Can we win the Super Bowl? For sure. We for sure can win the Super Bowl. And so with all that said, I am going to get out of here. I just wanted to make a quick little update video on the Steelers themselves on how we are looking post, 53-man roster, post cut day, right? Like this is the team that we're rolling in with. Will Howard, will he get to play this whole season? Probably not. Skylar Thompson making the team as well. Skylar Thompson, quarterback too, ladies and gentlemen. Please let me know down in the comments. Anyways, this has been Zaya from Zaya and the Steelers, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.